Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Fondin and I'm the author of Heal Yourself, A Return to Wholeness, the Integration of Body, Mind, Soul, and Spirit. I'm also the author of Twin Flame Romance, The Journey to Unconditional Love. All of my books are available in paperback, Kindle, and Audible books. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for subscribing below. Click on that bell, scroll up to all for all notifications, and thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. I do readings, 30, 60, and 90-minute readings, romance, twin flame, life path and purpose, and New Year's readings for the overview of the new year for you. You can book that at my website, fondinwellness.com. I also want to mention this reading. This is the Divine Feminine Lightworker reading. I wanted to mention to you about my Divine Feminine boot camps that I have, boot camps 1 and 2. There is an information session that is free. You can register below. It's on January 13th, which is a Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Otherwise, the links are below as well if you want to start those boot camps on demand. As I mentioned, this is the Divine Feminine reading for the week. This is something I do from time to time. Hopefully in 2021, this is something that I'm going to do a little bit more frequently. What I want you, Divine Feminines, to learn and grow and focus on is on your divine light. And I just want to say this in light of it being today, which is Friday, January 8th, 2021, is that the light is rising. I know it feels very much that we are in a period of darkness. I know it feels very much that evil and darkness are both rising in the world. Last year, around this time, I did a video on it was a little fun video. I'll put the link above here on the Star Wars characters, Kylo Ren and Rey. And I did the comparison about them being twin flames. And in that video, I quoted a line from Emperor Palpatine. Yes, the evil Emperor Palpatine. And his quote from the very last Star Wars movie, Episode 9, in which he said to Rey, "When the light rises, the darkness rises to greet it." And I want you to know that even though it appears that we are in very evil times, in dark times, in desperate times, the only reason why we see the surmounting presence of darkness and evil is because there are an equal, if not greater, amount of light that has risen to the surface. You, my friend, are part of that light. So as light workers, we have a duty, we have a job to do. So let's get out there and do it. In this reading, I'm going to give you insight on what your guardian angels want you to know for that light work today, and hopefully, like I said, a little bit more often, a little bit more frequent in 2021. As usual, I'm going to say a prayer over the cards. Dear God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, Mother Mary, Archangels, Angels of God, Twin Flames, Guardian Angels, Divine Feminines, Guardian Angels, let this reading be of the highest light and love of God the Father. Let it bring light, love, and truth to everyone involved. Archangel Michael, stand guard, casting away any lower energies with your sword of light. Romance angels and twin flame angels, help divine feminines understand their purpose, their light work for this week. So let's get that now. I'm going to pick 4 cards from 4 different decks, 1 tarot deck and 3 oracle decks. There's one oracle deck that is relatively new to me. I've used it a few times in some divine feminine readings, but since it's a little bit new to me, I'm not terribly familiar with the cards of that deck. I have the book handy just in case something comes out that I'm not quite grasping, but let's do this. And again, these are all basically cards about light work. If you are in doubt about the pathway that you need to choose in order to do your light work, because you can't do it all. You can't, believe me, I've tried to do it all. You can't possibly do it all. There are very specific things that you are called to do in your life And everybody is a little bit different, right? So we each have different pathways to our light work that we can carry out into the physical 3D world. So yours might not be what mine is, and yours might not be what the next person's light work happens to be in this physical plane. And I hope these cards are really, really thick. I hope I just picked out one, but they're very, very, very thick. I love this because we're talking about light work. We are talking about inner strength. As I mentioned, in these times, which will get better, I assure you, in these times, it can really appear that the louder voice, the stronger, more present voice, is the voice of darkness. You don't have to go very far to see that, hear that, feel that. You turn on the news, you can look at any social media platform, and you see it. It's right there, right in front of you. And the most beautiful card that we got in this tarot deck, which is the Fairy Tarot deck, is the Strength card. This for me is very much a twin flame card. We've got the number 11 at the top. This has always been a twin flame card for me. This was one of the first cards that I received when asking about my divine masculine twin flame. And it's very significant to my twin flame and I and our journey on way more levels than I could possibly explain here, nor would I really want to reveal it because that's something special. But that being said, the Strength card is very much about a yin-yang type of energy because we have this beautiful, gorgeous fairy angel and we've got the lion. But you know, right next to the lion, we have the lamb, which I love this. And this is in this deck particular, I've never ever seen, other than this deck, the lion and the lamb. You usually see some sort of depiction of opposite energies coming together to move together in synchronistic harmony. Typically you see that, but I have never, besides this deck, have seen the lion and the lamb. Sometimes you see a depiction of maybe a cup with a lion to indicate kind of like the feminine, the yin, the empty cup. Sometimes you see a bird with the lion. But what this is really representative of, and this is significant to divine feminines, what this is representative of is the gentle, compassionate, loving, lamb-like energy of the divine feminine, taming the wild beast, not through whips and chains, not through aggressive means, but it's through compassion, through love, through forgiveness, there is power in silence. There's power in this silent, loving presence. It's funny because Jesus has often been depicted in the Bible and scripture as the lamb that was slain, as a lamb that was slaughtered to save us. And it's interesting because everybody thought Jesus was coming out as this powerful king prior to him coming forth in his ministry. It was in Jewish tradition that the king that would come and save them would come like a king. And in fact, he didn't come in like a king. He came in as someone very humble and of poor means, and he rode into Jerusalem on a donkey. And this symbolism of the lamb was constantly being attributed to Jesus when the Jews wanted him to be represented by the lion. Aren't you going to fight? Aren't you going to come out and fight for us? And Jesus's demeanor was more of like a divine feminine demeanor of through this passive presence that was ultra powerful. And in fact, if you've studied the life of Jesus and his speeches and the things that he said, and more importantly, the things he did not say, he held back his tongue so much in the face of adversity, and he only spoke when it actually mattered. So when we talk about the strength of the Lamb, when we talk about the strength of the divine feminine with the divine masculine, we're talking about the strong, powerful, powerful presence of feminine energy, of yin energy, of the Lamb energy in the face of turmoil, in the face of adversity, and only speaking when it really matters, because words have an effect. And if you're not careful with what you say and how you say it, it could have an even greater damaging effect. Oh boy, I love this creative wonderment card because, wow. You know, and this is so beautiful. Look at the imagery here. And it says, follow your passion. I love this because divine feminines come to me for readings all the time. And when they come to me, they often say, like, I don't know what to do with myself. I am in turmoil from this twin flame connection. I'm in turmoil with this spiritual awakening and facing my demons and the obsession of my divine masculine and when are we coming back together? That obsession with that, and following your passion, and even in your light work, following what is passionate for you, the things that illuminate you on the inside, the things that truly illuminate you are the things you can do. If you are suffering inside, or you're in this waiting period or this holding pattern between you and your divine masculine. And you know, I love it because if you look, the beautiful feminine is ascending. She's ascending the staircase. She's moving up the staircase in all of her beauty. And she is surrounded by beauty. Furthermore, it's surrounding herself with beauty, surrounding herself with reminders of blessings and beauty and goodness, right? There's nothing ugly around her. There's nothing dark around her. This is all surrounding herself with beautiful things, surrounding herself with her own passions, and ascending, moving up, not staying you don't see her staying in a holding pattern. You don't see her holding back. You don't see her sitting still. She is moving. And I love that because that is all we can do, divine feminines. We can move forward and not sit back and just do nothing. How did I start this reading? I started this reading by saying we need to shine our light outward into the world. We are light workers after all. And it says, shine your inner light brightly. Shine your inner light brightly. And as I was taking a shower before I recorded this, there's a quote from the Bible, and I don't know, I believe it's Colossians, if I'm not mistaken, but it's something about not hiding your light under a bushel. You are a light worker. You're not meant to hide your light. And this says, shine your inner light brightly. And there is here a Bible quote, since these cards have Bible quotes on them. And it's from Revelation 21:23. And it says, this city has no need of sun or moon, for the glory of God illuminates the city, and the Lamb is its light. Again, here is the Lamb, and the Lamb is, of course, referring to Jesus. And we are all light workers if we come together and shine our lights brightly to the outer world with your creative passion, right? With your creative passion, you will succeed in shining your light outward. You know, it's been a tough 12 months. It's been a tough 12 months. It's been hard if you have that passion, if you have that light work to come out. We've been asked in many periods of the past 11 months or so to shut down and quarantine and be alone and be by ourselves and not be out into the world doing our light work. Now, of course, there are many different ways in which you can do your light work. But for many of us who count on doing things like volunteering in our children's schools, right? That's just one example. Or leading a brownie troop, or being the coach of a soccer team or a football team, or whatever it is. We have been asked to step away from our passions that help us bring light into the world. And this card, it's telling us that it's time now to come out of the cave. And I love this because it really matches the Bible quote that came to me about not hiding your light under a bushel anymore. It's time to come out from the cave. And it says, share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution and expression. I love that. So many of us operate out of fear, and there are reasons for that. And I'll talk about that when I speak more about manifestation in my subsequent videos. But we have this reptilian brain, right? We have this 2 to 3 million year old brain that works on survival mode. So fear, right? Fight or flight. And it can be very easy to stay in fear-based mode. The world gives us many reasons, always, to stay in fear-based mode. It's time, guys. It's time to come out of the cave. It's time to make your voice heard. Now, what I'm getting from the reading is that it doesn't need to be the lion's voice. It doesn't necessarily need to be the lion's voice. It can be the lamb. It can be the lamb's voice. There's nothing wrong with the lion's voice either when it's done with the highest of integrity, when it's done with the highest of honor and the highest truth. But let's start with our divine feminine energy, with the voice of the lamb. But it's time to come out of the cave. Hibernation is over. It is completely, completely over. Get creative on ways in which you can speak out with your voice. Whether it's through organizing food drives or gathering up neighbors to pull together funds, for example, to donate to your local food bank. There are many different ways in which you can come out of the cave and shine your light brightly out into the world, because that is what's needed right now. And I want to actually read from the book because I feel that it's really, for some reason, there's something that is calling me to read from this. Normally I wouldn't. This is pretty self-explanatory, but I feel that it's important. And it says, you're being called to share your voice, perhaps by speaking up in a relationship or through writing, speaking, singing, or some other form of creative expression. We each hold a truth deep within us that longs to be expressed. Sculpted for lifetimes, the voice of your soul is like no other. It carries with it wisdom that can only be gained through soul history and growth by remembering, tapping into, and expressing this unique tone, we not only heal ourselves, we also heal the planet at large. When you share your voice, you unlock something in the universe and call a missing piece of you home. Your individual voice is the most powerful sound current on the planet. If you've kept your soul's voice silenced or held back, chanting or singing could be truly life-changing for you. As we shed the layers of our personality and letting our unique soul speak through us, we discover that we actually have a very clear message that longs to be shared. The more we speak it, the clearer it gets. There has never been a better time in history than right now to rise up, speak your truth, and share your soul's voice. If you feel fearful, know that you are not alone and that the world needs your unique tone in order to harmonize. As we each rise up and share our song, we make it easier for the next person to do the same. So I feel like by me speaking to you today and sharing this with you, that it will give you the strength and courage of the lion to be able to speak up and speak your voice. Follow your passions and let your inner light shine forward. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Click on that bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing this video with other twin flames. And thank you so much for your support of my YouTube channel. You can buy a book or 2 or 3. You can also pledge your support on Patreon. www.patreon.com/Michelle S. Fondin, and I will see you in the next video.